Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show with me, Kavita Thaplayal, and last leg of the show where we answer your mutual fund portfolio queries. I'm joined by Shweta Rajani, Head Mutual Funds, Anand Rathi Wealth. Shweta, good evening. Welcome to the show. Let's move on to our first viewer. I have Aditya from Chennai online with me. Hi, Aditya. Good evening. How are you doing?
Hi, I am fine. Am I
Hi.
audible?
Thank you so. Yeah, you are audible, and thank you so much for sending us your question. I believe you have been investing in ELSS, and now you want to move out of your ELSS funds and maybe have a more active or passive strategy in your portfolio. Is that right?
Yes. See, I mean, over a period of last 20 years and all, I've been investing. So,
Okay.
on tax saving basis and all, I've done in, say, 6 or 7 ELSS. By this time, it got accumulated and all, some decent
Okay.
amount. So now,
Okay.
now I want to move on to the, indexing funding, because I have other schemes also where it will take care of all other segments. Market like flexi cap, mid cap, small cap, and all. So now I don't have any index fund in my portfolio. So I'm thinking, can I shift all this funds
Are you
to
sure
index
you really
fund?
need an index fund in your portfolio? Because the current portfolio is very well diversified. Just for adding one more aspect of diversification, you want an index fund, or you really see the need to have an index fund in your portfolio?
Because it's more on tilted towards large cap as such. Okay, with
Okay.
small cap being, small cap is as per my age and all, I can stay invested for another 10, 15 years. So I've invested 20% of my portfolio into small cap also.
Okay,
So,
so
I'm not
just for
sure,
large cap
because
exposure, you are looking at an index strategy, a passive strategy. Is
exactly,
that
and
right?
more importantly,
Perfect. Okay.
yes, and more importantly, I got like 7 or 8 schemes in ELSS, and not that easy to track it, and most of the ELSS, like couple of them at least, are not performing well. So,
Got it.
I'm on like that, whether to do it or not.
Got it.
That's a query.
Okay, got it. Okay. All right. Shweta, over to you. Six to seven ELSS funds he has in his portfolio and not happy with the performance, but then, yeah, he wants to have a passive exposure as far as the large cap is concerned.
Yes. Aditya, I was listening to your query, and my honest opinion would be that for a large cap exposure, you don't necessarily need to have an index fund. Let me give you some data here. If I look at active funds versus passive fund performance for the last 23 years, almost 67% of the active funds would have beaten Nifty 50. If I just look at the last 5 years and specifically look at the large cap fund universe, almost 40% of the large cap funds beat their benchmark, and the average alpha or the outperformance to the index that they deliver has been around 3% per annum. This data clearly substantiates the point of not having the need to take an index fund right now in the portfolio. Even if you want a large cap exposure, go in for a large cap fund. Even better would be you take that exposure through a flexi cap or a large and mid cap fund. Even a flexi cap fund tends to invest almost 70 to 75% of their money in the large cap stocks, which are the top 100 stocks. So, my recommendation to you would be index fund can be avoided. More specifically in India, for the next 5-10 years, you can stay away from an index and be in the active space and benefit from that extra return or that alpha, as we call it, for your portfolio. Some funds you can consider here would be an HDFC Flexi Cap or a DSP Equity Opportunities. I'm not suggesting other categories because you said you already have a small cap exposure. Also, on your small cap exposure, you have 20%. Given the current market scenario, you can have 20 to 30% small cap exposure. That will actually help you enhance the return on your portfolio. So net, it's okay if you don't have an index fund, redeem your ELSS, shift to a flexi or a large and mid cap category.
Great. Aditya, is there anything else you want to ask Shweta?
No, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
All the best, Aditya. We move on and let's take Ghanshyam's question from Surat. Shweta, he wants to do an SIP of 6,000 and he wants to know the name of funds.
Super. Ghanshyam, one thing is good that you've chosen to go in for an SIP. Now, this will bring in the investment discipline in you. It will also help you get the benefit of compounding that we all talk about. I'm guessing you're still starting off. You've not shared your portfolio. So what I would suggest is, 6 funds to you so that you get the benefit of different categories, different styles in your portfolio. 2 funds, IPRU Dividend Yield, SBI Contra. They add in a different style of investing. You can also go in for a small cap fund in the portfolio, right? So you can take in for an Invesco small cap or an HDFC small cap in the portfolio, go in for a flexi cap fund, HDFC flexi cap, go in for a multi cap fund, yeah, a Kotak multi cap or a Quant Active. These are few funds you can consider. Like I said, it will give you benefit of investing across the market cap, large, mid, small. Some different styles also coming in, like a dividend yield or a contra to the portfolio.
Quickly, Shweta, last question. We'll take Adarsh's question. He wants to accumulate 50 lakhs in 10 years. And what should be the ideal SIP amount and funds for his goals?
Adarsh, one thing is good. You've laid out your goal pretty clearly that you want to look at 50 lakhs in the next 10 years. There are 2 options or 2 ways through which you can actually achieve that. One is you start with a SIP of 20,000 per month, and that will take you to your goal of 50 lakhs. Or you can start off with an SIP of 15,000 per month, step it up. So there's something called as a step up SIP, which means that you can go in for a 10% step up. That means every year 10% of your SIP amount increases. So if it's 15,000 today, next year it will be 16,500. The year after that, another 17,000 odd amount will go in as an SIP. So those are your 2 alternatives. Looking at the historical growth rate of equity, and I'm assuming this will entirely go into equity, you can expect a 14% kind of a return. Some funds that you can consider here: a Canara Robeco Flexi Cap, a Quant Active Fund, a Kotak Multi Cap Fund. Go in for an SBI Large and Mid and Invesco Small. So you'll again get diversification, and you will get the advantage of unique styles coming into play for your portfolio's benefit.
All right, with that, time is up. Thank you so much, Shweta, for being on the show today and giving your valuable advice to our viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And it's time up on the Money Show as well, but I'm going to leave you with our WhatsApp number and email ID where we keep waiting for your queries. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.